My mother-in-law is getting married in 3 weeks. To give you some background, this woman is insanely cheap. Like, cooks with expired food, won't go to any restaurant unless she has a coupon, and still will only go if she shares a meal with someone. For Christmas this past year, she gave my husband and his brother each a set of Kroger brand expired barbecue sauces. She gave me the free gift that comes with a Clinique purchase. It's absurd. Most of this story is filtered through my sister-in-law, as my mother-in-law knows better than to talk to me about some of this sh-blank-t. We were taking a family vacation to Orlando, and she didn't want to drive or stay in a room by herself. After I told her no, she tried the whole, "Well, I guess I just won't come." I just said, "Okay, we'll take lots of pictures for you." My sister-in-law caved and let her ride with them and stay in their room. Anyway, to the story. So she's getting married, and we've all been amazed at how she has very expensive taste but wants dollar store prices for everything. Theme: country barbecue. Some of the things she's trying to do. Location: her fiancé's backyard to save money. Which isn't terrible, of course, but we live in southern Georgia, and if you know anything about August, September weather down here, the gnats and mosquitoes will be insane. I explained that to her multiple times, but everywhere is just so expensive. Also pointed out that we don't have enough chairs for that many people, so she'll have to rent them. She decided to see if she could get hay bales for people to sit on, and for all of us, my husband, his brother and sister-in-law, and me, to bring our patio furniture. Food. She wants 65 people total to come. She wanted my husband, brother-in-law, sister-in-law, and me to cook for 65 people. We tried to explain that we don't have the facilities to cook for that many people, because with the regular house kitchens we all have, it's just not possible. She suggested we cook for several days beforehand, freeze it, then reheat it. Then we pointed out that even combined, we don't have enough plates, cups, serving flatware, silverware, etc. for that many people. She started posting on Facebook asking if people had any she could borrow that fit her theme. She posted pictures of really pretty serving sets to let people know what she wanted, but again, expensive tastes with a dollar store budget. Of course, no one really responded. She also kept texting links to my sister-in-law of huge serving sets and gushing about how much she loved them and how it would go perfectly at the wedding, etc. Read, "I'm trying to convince you to buy this sh-blank-t for me to use." We also asked how she planned on serving all of this food because we kept telling her that if she just had it catered, the place would provide all of this. My husband looked up nice paper plates and serving stuff to send her to buy if she insisted on not having it catered. She wanted us to serve the food and drinks. I sh-blank-t you not. She expected us to prepare the food and serve it for the wedding guests. I'm not sure how it came up in conversation, but the gist of it is my sister-in-law was explaining that she couldn't help that much because she has 2 small kids and would need to watch them and leave early because of their bedtime on the day of the wedding. It then came out that my mother-in-law expected us to clean her backyard for her after the party, that night, because they had to get to bed right after so they could leave at 4 a.m. in the morning to drive to Florida to get on their cruise boat. Her solution to not having enough time, not wanting to stay well past midnight for us to clean? Well, if you need to take the dishes home with you to wash, you can just return them when we get back. So yeah, cook, serve, and clean after her party of 65 people. Also, didn't want a cake because it would be too hard to serve. Read, too expensive. Wanted to buy cupcake mix at Sam's Club, and you guessed it, have us all make and decorate them. Dress. We go to a cute little store to find a simple white dress instead of a wedding dress. We find one, she tries it on, and really likes it. Now I saw the dress when she tried it on, and I would swear in court that there was no makeup on the collar at the time. We get to the register, and suddenly there's makeup smeared all over the collar, really obviously. She complains to the clerk about the makeup and wants a damage discount. The girl tries to clean it off but couldn't, so she offers a discount with the caveat that the dress cannot be returned. Mother-in-law is notorious for buying things, using once, then returning. She then complains and tries to argue with the girl that she should still be allowed to return it. The girl is firm about store policy. She did end up buying the dress though. Photography. My husband enjoys photography. He's not a professional, it's just a hobby he enjoys. Doesn't pretend he's a professional or anything. He's taken some family photos a few times when my sister-in-law asked for newborn photos, etc. Anyway, she wanted him to be the photographer. She seems to think that all it involves is taking the photo, not the editing or other work that goes into nice photos. So she wanted him to cook, serve, photograph, and clean. When he flat out refused, she decided to just not have a photographer and asked everyone to just bring their cameras. Location revisited. She finally breaks down about the location and decides to rent a lodge by the lake. Wants us all to get there early to help decorate with the decorations from her daughter's wedding and to stay and clean up. We've all decided to not say anything and just leave without cleaning. Duck her $50 cleaning deposit. For the music, when it was still in her backyard, when asked about it, said, "Can't someone just set up their laptop?" Like, how is everyone in a big backyard supposed to hear a laptop? Guess that person is supposed to provide speakers and set up, take them down? She finally hired a DJ for 2 hours and has complained that the guy is charging her a couple $100. Food revisited. The groom has a friend who won some barbecue contests, and he's sort of famous in barbecue circles, I guess. He's going to make the meat and provide it, his wedding gift. I have no idea what's going on with the rest of the food. She, of course, will not shut up about Myron Mixon making the barbecue and donating it. It pissed her off when we were all like, "Who's Myron Mixon?" But whatever. So, in summation, she wanted us to cook, serve, clean, photograph, and provide the music and all the equipment that goes along with this for her wedding. Edit. People are asking if she just doesn't have the money for anything expensive, but she does. She's freaking loaded. Just insanely cheap. Also, I have no idea what's going on with the groom. I've met him a few times and he seems really nice, but just sort of lets her do whatever she wants without comment as far as I know. I don't think he's aware of most of this, as I'm sure she's just told him she's handling it all. They're pretty traditional, so I figure he thinks it's her job to plan all of this and is just doing what she tells him to do. Oh my god, one more edit. I forgot that for wedding invitations, she just sent a flyer through Facebook Messenger and made a Facebook invite group thing. A little bit of important info. I started dating my significant other a month before we graduated high school. Where we live, older high school students can enroll in a college and take classes instead of going to high school. My significant other started working on his engineering degree in high school. My mother-in-law is a passive-aggressive, sh-blank-t talking behind your back, never to your face kind of person. She loves trying to talk sh-blank-t to my significant other about how I'm actually the devil in disguise that managed to escape hell so that I could steal her son away from her. My significant other completely shuts her down, and sometimes deservingly humiliates her, when she gets started on my appearance and intelligence. So she found a new thing to talk sh-blank-t about. She accused me that I was a gold digger after his money, and that he needed to break up with me because obviously I didn't care about him, only his paychecks. Significant other and I were just about to graduate high school. He was working part-time as a pizza driver to finish his degree, and I was working full-time to put myself through college as I was already 18. Significant other laughed in her face. He was lucky to have maybe $100 in his bank account because he was the poster child for broke college students still living with mom. He literally had no gold for me to dig. If anything, I was the sugar mama for the first few years because of my full-time job. Mother-in-law got huffy and said that I was a gold digger because he was going to be an engineer after he graduated and I would steal all his engineering money. Significant other told her that was ridiculous and insane, and I was then informed by significant other of my future money-stealing plans. It was a weird mix of finding that insult incredibly rude and hurtful, but also effing hilarious. So, I plotted the most petty and longest revenge that I've ever done. Every time I saw mother-in-law, I would make a joke to her about how I was a gold digger that was lying in wait for the money. It would range from jokes about him needing to finish his degree to get a job so I could have his paychecks, to saying I was so happy he didn't want to sign a prenup when we decided to get married because when we get divorced, I'm leaving with half. Mother-in-law was pissed. She would never say a word about it to me because she would never even dream of saying anything to my face, but she was constantly telling my significant other and his dad to shut me up. They thought it was just as funny as I did, and they encouraged me to keep it going so I could teach her a lesson. It's been 4 years since she accused me of being a gold digger. Significant other is now making very good engineering money, and every single time I've seen her since that comment, I've said something about my gold digging ways. Significant other and I are still living with our parents. We can't move into our house until end of summer, so I'm constantly going to her house and saying at least one joke or a snide comment to her. She'll hide in her room to avoid, sometimes even leave if someone tells her I'm coming over. But you bet your ass I'm making a comment from somewhere she can hear it about how I want significant other's money and work benefits. My personal favorite was when significant other bought me a beautiful promise ring for Christmas. Mother-in-law asked to see it at a giant Christmas Eve party, and I proudly stuck my left hand out so she could look at all the pretty diamonds on my gold ring. She told me it was nice of him to give it to me, and as loud as I could, after making sure we had an audience, I went, "OMG, right? I'm finally getting all that gold that I've been waiting for. Can you believe it's taken him 4 years?" Father-in-law said that mother-in-law was so embarrassed that she sulked and talked sh*t about me the entire drive home. Father-in-law told her that she deserved every single comment I've said to her. A bit of background. I've never gotten along with my sister-in-law. I'm very nerdy and she's extremely materialistic. She's constantly boasting about basically being a Beverly Hills housewife because I have a certain standard of living. Yeah, we've never been close to say the least. Here's where the drama comes in. My wedding is next month, and we've been planning it for a year without a hitch. Or that was the case up until a few days ago. I got a phone call from my mom hysterically crying. I flipped and tried to calm her down. I didn't know, but was afraid something happened to my dad. Turns out, my sister-in-law called my mom and basically said, if you don't pay for us, her brother, her mom, and their 2 kids, they won't be coming to the wedding. Why is this such a big issue? Because they've known about the wedding for over a year and have gone to Disneyland almost every month, even when my brother was unemployed. They don't even live in California. This call also came 2 days after they bought a brand new hot tub. My mom really broke down on the phone because she was going to get a new credit card to pay for them, but my dad flipped and said no. You think that would be the end of it, but nope. My brother called my mom shortly after and absolutely ripped into her. How dare you make my wife cry? My sister-in-law had called my brother while he was working, saying that my mom was being awful to her and all sorts of things. I'm really at my wit's end. This has all just been eating away at me for the last few days, and I thought it had blown over until yesterday. My mom called me crying again. I was beyond furious at this point and asked what happened. My brother texted her saying they would be coming, but there was a catch. They would be staying at my parents' house for an entire week and using their vehicle. Apparently, my wedding isn't enough for them to make the trip, so they decided to go to some theme park for a few days while they're here. The problem is that I'm staying with my parents with my maid of honor during that time, and there is absolutely no room for all of them to stay too. I'm so heartbroken over this. I hate what my sister-in-law has done to my brother. He has never acted like this before. We used to be really close. Part of why it's eating at me so bad is because I have another brother who can't attend because he's stationed overseas. He tried everything possible to get vacation time to come too. So I have one brother who's dying to go but can't, and another who absolutely has the means, but it's just not worth it to go without turning it into some elaborate vacation. Should I uninvite them or grit my teeth and deal with it? Should I confront my sister-in-law and brother about their behavior? Maybe try to talk things out? If I did uninvite them, I know they would never talk to me again, and I would never see my nieces again. My fiancé has had to hold me back from ripping into my sister-in-law over the entire ordeal. He doesn't want them to go either, but I'm afraid if I do, it will tear apart our family. After talking with my fiancé, we decided because it's my parents' house and vehicle, it would be best for them to work this out with my brother. My mom called him last night, and after a lot of arguing back and forth, everything has kind of sort of settled. My brother will be the only one attending my wedding. His wife, his mother-in-law, and their kids are staying behind. So many people pointed out how they could cause drama during our wedding, so I'm really thankful that they won't be attending. He's also getting his own hotel room and riding with my other brother's wife, so the vehicle situation has been taken care of. I received so many questions about this entire situation, so let me take time to clarify a few things. Why do you care if your brother and sister-in-law attend in the first place? Because I have a very tight-knit family. Our motto is legit family first. I know that not everyone rolls that way, but it's just how we are. I love my family, but I don't think I'll be speaking to my sister-in-law ever again. What does your dad think about this? He's extremely disappointed in my brother. We knew he was entitled, but we didn't realize how much my sister-in-law had changed him. This entire situation has changed how we all see him. I hope he'll go back to how he used to be one day. My 27 male, older sister, 30 female, and her fiancé, 31 male, were planning for over a year for their wedding to be this month. Obviously, they can't have the wedding as planned, but they still would like to get married, so they decided on a Zoom wedding where all of the family, friends would just call in to watch the officiant, my sister, and her fiancé. My sister didn't want to be in charge of hosting the Zoom call because she thought it would stress her out, so she asked me to, and I gladly accepted. She and her fiancé decided to invite everyone they originally wanted to, and it was a very big list. When we were going over the list, my sister mentioned to me that she wanted everyone else to be muted for the majority of the wedding, as she was worried that others would talk over her and her fiancé and, quote, overshadow them on their big day that was already scaled down. However, her and her fiancé said that I should unmute everyone at one point so everyone could talk and have a nice time with each other. Fast forward to the day of the wedding. Everyone is muted during the ceremony, which goes great. and so I then unmute everyone and ask to please raise a hand if they'd like to talk, so it doesn't get confusing. My cousin, around my age, starts waving his hand crazily, and he's with his longtime girlfriend, also similar in age, I guess. Then he says stuff like, "My sister and her husband are such an inspiration, it's given me the courage to do this," then turns to his girlfriend and pulls out a box that is the size of an engagement ring box. I immediately saw this as him trying to steal the spotlight, something he's done since we were kids. Example, he would secretly mess up my sister and I's drawing if the adults would praise ours, and booted him off the call. Then I quickly announced that my cousin had technical difficulties and would not be joining again. Everyone else accepted this and went about talking, and my sister and her husband did too. The rest of the wedding went smoothly, except for the fact that my cousin kept texting me angrily, saying that he finally wanted to propose as a surprise with family all around and I ruined it. Am I the A?